Greetings everybody, welcome back to the Vacho channel, specifically to the creative writing, exploration and demonstration of my Fragments into story of my personal journey thus far. Many people are wondering and are asking who we are or who I am here at Vatra Holistic Center in the heart of the ancient Dacian kingdom. In Romania, in Costești, near Sarmisegetuza Regia. Many people are driving by and asking and wondering, what's my story? And isn't that what we do so often? We ask and are so intrigued by the personal stories behind very intriguing projects that, especially those that are aiming towards offering genuine support in the form of healing and reconciliation and setting upon a new path and direction in life. And many of us have been and are searching for so many things to feed our soul and to live a better life. Indeed, we are at this time on this planet where these questions are very important. And I find it is such a beautiful and much needed service to offer to others our own personal journey through various transitions in our lives. And so creative writing for me is a healing modality for my own personal process, and it's also transforming into a form of service in offering inspiration and offering practical advice for those who might be experiencing similar things in their life transformations. So here's an example of a free flow of consciousness writing exercise with the intention of sharing a piece of the puzzle of why and how and what I was going through when I arrived back in Romania with my companion Stephen Israel, my partner at Vatra. So take a listen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's see what happens. Through the sisterhood of the Emerald Fire. Theodora no more, from the seat within the Emerald Fire, has rebirthed and proclaims, "If they are asleep, let them sleep. I am here to awaken myself." Goo goo gaga, wah wah. Shh. Stream of consciousness may be the beginning. Let go of control and logical flow, blah blah blah. Start where it comes and keep going as it flows. And so this is what it comes back to: writing. Reconnecting to the raw essence of the story as I have experienced it thus far. This is the part of the story that unravels since Stephen Israel and I landed in the motherland of my birth, Romania. I had hoped this would be a getaway vacation of sightseeing and relaxation through the majestic and mystic natural areas of this country, a decompressing time from the NYC journey. The journey home would soon reveal a different approach to this girl's tale of healing, of stepping into the throne of womanhood and anchoring it into the earth. It was to become a reschooling of what's truly important in life through the real Romania. Its folklore comforts, abundant local foods, and natural healing remedies such as herbal teas and salt baths. And of course, through taking a look at my deepest issues related to the shadows of my deeply rooted Romanian lineage. By the age of 27, I had traveled deep down into my personal transformation labyrinth. I had accomplished some great feats within, but of course, the external results were not a true reflection yet of the awakened witness within. So deeper I went, deeper down the rabbit hole, with Stephen as my wise torch-bearing tour guide. Further down, bouncing up for air once in a while, and inside out, continuing to gather all parts of myself to bring them all back to me, the individual process. We landed in mid-July of 2015 in the capital of Romania, Bucharest. As I had done 2 times prior with a previous boyfriend and with my late husband, I invited Stephen to visit and stay with a second uncle of mine who is related through my mother's father, the Alexandrescu line. I had connected to this uncle 9 years prior upon my visit to his family during a time in my life when I was just beginning to unravel my interest in discovering not only who I am, but where I came from and the links my family had maintained and why. I'll call him Uncle V. Uncle V had given me a book that would become a totem that I would keep in the back of my mind as I continued my awakening process, my search for who I am. The book title translation into English reads, The Messengers, Life on Earth, Galactic Confederation Call to the Terrestrial Civilization Transmitted through Mission Romania, Volume 1. This was the type of powerful book that I could only read when called to it, and I would be guided to a page from which to read, and the words would transform me specifically about a current situation I would be navigating at the time. It was like a dramatic download or upgrade of awareness. Reading from this book, I would feel a deep resonance to what I can describe as the core of my being. A secret tunnel passage back to Romania and its lurking mysteries that I would dream of uncovering one fine day. It was a cord that linked me to the genetic codons that made up my earthly existence. Practical and simple wisdom words from on high are found in this book, but the information is evidently not so easily applied in one's life. The book calls for a reawakening of humanity's common sense and self-responsibility in 3 key areas: information processing, food consumption, sexuality. So how we take in the world around us and process our information, what foods we eat and from where they come, and how we choose to engage our sexual energy. This 3rd time at Uncle V's, after receiving this book, I was raw and vulnerable as I was just transitioning out of a torrential cycle of almost 3 years living in the United States of America. I was going through a powerful time of reality checks and balances. I noticed how much I had grown and evolved all these years living in Canada throughout all my experiences, but I was also continuing the process of uncovering the shadow aspects of the causes and effects of the decisions I had made along the way. Indeed, I was coming to terms with the fact that the ungrounded connection I had developed with the New Age movement and information such as that found from this book contributed to unhealthy thought patterns and the fanatical path I had been walking upon. I was beginning to realize that the information and maps found in this book have most likely changed in accuracy and relevance levels. What was originally written in the year 1996 has naturally evolved and transformed like everything else. Thus, the written word need not be taken so literally. I noticed that Uncle V was a great mirror of mine in terms of not having been able to fully ground out the level of information that is found in this book. Indeed, he taught Stephen and I about bathing with raw eggs and eating simply with high life force foods as being the key to a good life. The meals he offered us were delicious and our first taste of the homey nutrition available to us here in Romania. With my sensitivity goggles sharper than ever, I noticed inconsistencies arising between certain belief systems he was holding on to and his ideal healthy whole lifestyle. It turns out he hasn't been able to complete a deep wish of his, to finish a book on the topic of simple living. Is this not the tale of many people out there? A grand dream to contribute to humanity, but you just can't seem to birth it into reality. I sure know what that is like. Many of my previous writings express this struggle. Obese dreams trying to squeeze down into my tiny body. Perhaps when this is the case, there's more work to be done on the ground level of one's life. Perhaps this is the journey of writing the story in order to become it. The story will be written only if you keep moving forward, pushing beyond the writer's block, or rather, the inner obstacles. Uprooting what I had perceived as the remaining obstacles in my life was the main reason I felt called to return to my motherland. To untangle the deep roots that had become confused abroad. To alleviate the emotional friction and unwind the mental pressure I had imposed upon my body. And to release the flow of the dreams that had been locked up in my heart. Embarking upon this deep work in the motherland would allow all parts of myself to return home, to become inclusive in order to effectively anchor in my spiritual essence. Onward and upward and downward I went. We took the train to Cluj in Transylvania, where I was born and where my 93-year-old grandmother was awaiting. From Furthermore Fragments to Wholly Letting Go. I wrote this on August 21st, 2015, yellow planetary sun in the Mayan galactic Zolkeen count of days. Thanks for tuning in and hearing a piece of my story of what brought me back home to Romania. The rest shall unfold. And I invite you to take pen to paper anytime you feel confused and fragmented and not know what the heck is going on in your reality. And just start writing. Just start whatever comes to mind. I started this piece with goo goo gaga because that's how I felt in that moment. And the rest unraveled and birthed into a puzzle piece, a very coherent, pretty coherent puzzle piece that assists me to remember how I got here. And that's a good thing. Thank you so much. To many more. Onwards and upwards.